はい、こんにちは。皆さん、Recursion の Co-Founder Jeffry と申します。今回ですね、ちょっとユーザーを呼んで、今回はちょっと特別な面接になりますね。多分、Recursion の中にいるユーザーは、開発エンジニアを目指していて、特にある方が、海外とか、アメリカとかで、働きたいと。そのためは、今回は、ちょっと、そういった面接、練習、面接、対策という動画になりますね。今日読んだのが、大熊さんで、大熊さんも、一応海外で働くことには、希望もあったりします。ということで、はい、大熊さん、今日はよろしくお願いします。
お願いします。
はい。ただ、今回ですね、海外なので、この面接も、英語にしますね。はい。ということで、今回は、英語での、コーディングインタビューになります。はい。ということで、奥間さん、頑張ってください。
はい。
では、
お願いします。
はい。Alright then. Now I'm gonna switch to English and we are going to start. Okay. Okuma-san, welcome. So I have here a problem for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it here in the doc. Okay. Let me paste it in. Okay. So we have here. All right. So we have a creative function called validate tic-tac-toe that checks whether a game of tic-tac-toe is won or not. It returns a code. It can be a number from 0 to 3. 0 is no winner yet. 1 is X1 and 2 is O1 and 3 will be a draw. Okay. So validate tic-tac-toe takes in a 3x3 matrix. So this will be a 2D array that it takes in. Okay. So now you are free to use any language you want. So do you have a preference for a programming language?
I prefer to use Python.
Python?
Yeah.
Okay, then. So let's use Python.
Mm.
Okay, and yeah, you may start.
Okay.
So how would, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let me confirm my understanding.
Okay.
The input is three matrix and each element is O or X or empty string, right?
Correct. So let's make this matrix, yes, a 2D array of strings. You're correct.
Okay.
Okay. And let's also set this limit where the characters can only be either O, X, or blank.
Okay.
No other characters will be provided. Only those three.
Okay. So and if the input is like this, this in this case the winner is O, so the expected output is 2, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Okay, so let me write function. Let me start the write function.
Okay.
I'd like to use the brute force approach. So in a for loop, I check if the, for example, in each for loop, I'll check if there is a winner in each row and in each column and in the diagonal place. And so first I write a code to check if there is a winner in terms of the row in row. Okay. I define the variable which count the number of lines which arrived 3. So all count 0 and x count. If the example, if the row is filled with O, in this case, O count is 1. And otherwise, if the second row is filled with X, in this case, X count is 1. So and finally, compare the O count and the X count and decide the winner.
Yes. Sorry that I was muted a little bit earlier. But just before you move on, assume that the board giving is a valid tic-tac-toe board. It's valid. It's already been checked. You just need to check winners. Now, there can only be one winner. So in an example like this one is, you will not be given such a case.
Okay.
Yes, because there cannot be O and X cannot win. So there can only ever be one winner. Board will always be a valid tic-tac-toe configuration. So if this is the case, at this point in time, O is the winner. But another configuration could be this, where X will be the winner.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, just to make this look like an actual board. Yeah, let's do this.
And so I check each row and who is the winner. Okay. So if the row is filled with O, winner is O, so return 3, return 2. If row is filled with X, return winner is X, so return 1. Next, I'd like to check if there is a winner in from the perspective of column. First, I'd like to create column transform from the original to the array to the what I mean is to create like from this original array, I'll create like this array So, 0, 0, OX, empty, empty, X empty. Transform from the original to the array to the column.
Okay.
Okay. By doing this process, I can create this transformed array column. So, so I do the same thing like this. So for each column, sorry, no, I should change this name column to I do the same thing for the first one, check row. So
Okay, yes. So this should definitely work for checking columns.
okay.
Okay.
Sorry, what?
Oh, I said yes, that this will work for checking columns. You're
Okay.
correct.
And finally, I'll check the diagonal. There are two, I need to extract two diagonal array. So I'll extract them. Diagonal. And finally, if the code arrived at the last part, it means there is no winner. So return 3. It means draw. Yeah.
That is correct. Okay, I see your logic. For the most part, I agree with your logic. There's just also a couple things. Okay, so in here, sorry, let's put here return, right? Return 3. Now, if we look at the top for the code that we return, we are able to know that if X1 and we know whether O1. However, we have two codes left. One is if there is no winner yet, and 3 for if it's a draw. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me just ask you this. What would be the case where the game is a draw?
So, for example,
Okay, let's just go back here for a second. Let's just say, oh yeah, sorry. I'm just gonna fix this in here. Let's just make that something like this will be a draw, correct? Where there is no winner.
Right.
Okay, so this will be something that's no winner. I mean, it's a draw rather. Okay, and there is no winner yet. Okay, so 0 will be no winner yet, and 3 would just mean it's a draw. Okay.
Okay. So, I can separate or differentiate the 0 or 3 by checking the element. If there is a blank, empty string, it means there is no winner yet, right?
Okay. And when will it be a draw?
Draw is when the array is satisfied by O or X, and there is no empty string.
Correct.
So I think, yeah,
that is correct.
I should evaluate this here, the final part of the code. Right. So I made a flag which evaluate the which evaluate whether there is empty string or not. So I create the variable is empty exists. I check there is an empty string in the array in the final part of the code. For row in for element in row element. Sorry, I don't need this flag. Return number. No winner yet, so return 0. Okay, I add the code which which evaluate whether the result is 0 or 3. Yes. In this code, iterating each row, and in each row iterating each element. Then check if the element is empty string or not. If the element is empty, which means there are no winner yet, so return 0. And otherwise, it means the game is draw, so return 3.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, I agree with this logic. There is some places that I would like to refactor. For example, these lines where you do a check on row in column, we can probably put this in a separate function to reuse it. But that's fine. That's fine as well. We don't have to edit right here because we're gonna go to a different problem next. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, great. So now let me just move on to a separate page. Okay, let's go down to this page over here at the bottom. And now we're gonna put in a different prompt. Okay, so this one's a bit of a long one. Let me put it here. It's a bit of a long one. Okay. But we'll see. We'll go through this one together. Now, given a list of teams, create a program where each team member plays and scores, and the output is a leaderboard. A team is a class that contains the team name and an array of double floats, where each array index represents the team member and the double value represents their probability of scoring. The double value is a number between 0 to 100 that represents a percentage. Okay. You are provided with a try to score probability that takes in a double floats, the probability, where it has a chance to return 1 or 0 based on the probability. For each team, it goes through each team member to see if they score and adds it to the total score. Now you need to create a function called run that takes in teams. The run function goes through each team and it calculates the total score. After calculating the total score, it puts them on a leaderboard and it returns the leaderboard. Okay. The run teams function, the leaderboard that's returned is actually a dictionary. It's a key value pair of team name and team scores. So to give you an example of this, let's just say we have here two sets of teams. And the teams are, okay, let's just say we have the Dodgers. Okay. Now the Dodgers, we will have a number between 0 to 100. So it could be something like 34.3. It could be something like 56.5. It could be something like 23. Now, each of these elements represents a team member, and the value itself will be the probability. So Dodgers has 3 team members, and their probabilities are as such, okay? So we could do another one, right? Yes?
What is probability of what?
Oh, sorry. It's the probability of scoring.
Scoring, okay.
Yes, making a score. Okay.
Okay.
So now the other one is, let's just say we have Angels teams, and this one has a separate probability. Okay. Transform, and let's just say we have 45. Okay. So now your job is to create this function called run that again takes in a team, and then it's going to output a leaderboard. Okay. It runs the whole, it simulates the program. Okay. Now you have to use here this function called try to score. And this try to score function, you don't have to write it, it's provided to you. Okay. So this score, for example, for this member, okay, if try to score 56.6, this will have a 56.4% chance to return 1. Otherwise, it will return 0. Okay. 0.4% chance to return 1. Otherwise, it returns 0. Okay. So again, you don't have to implement try score. You have to implement everything else. Now, the final result will be a leaderboard that looks like this, right? It will be a value of team name and the team score. So for this example, we will have something like Dodgers. And since there's 3 members, each of these have a chance of score. It can be a number from 0 to 3. Okay. So in this case, let's just assume their chances were good and they scored 2. Okay. Now, Angels, on the other hand, they had a higher probability here, but these 2 failed and they only scored 1 goal. Okay. So this is the leaderboard that you have to return.
Yeah.
Now, does this prompt make sense?
Let me confirm my understanding.
Okay.
The input is the teams, and in this array, there are 2 elements, and one key is team, and the value is the player's probability to scoring.
Yes.
Yes, and for each team member, we use this function, try to score, and we can get 0 or 1 from
Correct.
this function.
Correct.
Yeah, and finally, this score is the total of the members, each member's output of this function.
Correct. You add those together.
Okay, and the leaderboard means the key value pair of team and the total score.
Correct.
Right. Oh, okay.
That is correct.
So-
Jeffrey, I think it says team is a class that contains blah, 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 blah.
It is a class, but it's okay. We'll just make them an array. Okay. We'll make it a dictionary. So yes, this is a dictionary. Okay, so let's just say we have a dictionary.
Okay, I'd like to explain my strategy solution, my approach. First, this teams is not an array.
No, sorry, it's it's a dictionary. So you do have to get the keys.
Okay. So I'd like iterating. In a for loop. I iterate. I pick up. I take this key value pair, and in each value, I use using this function and calculate the sum of the score, and add the result to the new result dictionary.
Okay. Before we start, let me just ask your preference. Would you prefer this to be a dictionary, or would you prefer it to be an array of team objects? Team 2, where you can get team dot members returns an array. So which one will you prefer? Will you prefer a dictionary or an array of classes?
I prefer class.
Class, okay, let's do class then. Okay, so you can use team.members to get the array. And you can also use team.name to get the name of the team.
Okay. Function name is rank. And the teams. But for loop, iterating over each team in teams. Sorry, I need to make a empty dictionary without. Then for teaming and in a nested loop, I team members in member in team members. Then without to get team name zero equal try to score member. So team name. Okay. In this code, I in a starter outer for loop and iterating over each team in the teams. And in a nested loop, I iterate in a nested loop I iterating over each member in the team members. Then I add the team name as a key to the result dictionary, and add the value as a value of the result of this function, and add increment the value by this result.
Great. Let me just confirm here something. Yeah, I agree with the logic.
Yeah.
But let me just confirm something. First of all, I'm sorry, what is the 0 for this result I get?
If there is this is the team name is a key, and if there are no if there is no key in the dictionary, sorry, I
Okay.
create the example. If the dictionary is this function returns 0 because there are no key.
Okay.
This team name
Got
key
it.
in the dictionary.
Okay, great. Another question is here. When you're trying to update here, are you doing this as an expression, or rather, are you planning on storing the result?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Once you get the number, what do you do with the result?
I'll increment the value of the value associated with the team name key.
Okay.
Yeah. So if the dictionary result is now Dodgers 2, then if this try to some the result of this function is 1, this
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm just wondering what would be the Python syntax for this, where you will where you will update based on the team name. So usually I will see languages do result.put, and then it'll be something like this, right?
Yeah.
And then it'll be something similar to this. So I'm not sure how potentially put the team name, put this result in it. So I'm not sure if this is the way to do it, but we'll assume for logic purposes that this will work according to your logic. Okay, we'll assume so.
Okay.
But you can continue.
And iterating this loop, I think final result is becomes like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So now let me ask you this. If you went to through this, what will be, assuming that try to score as a computation of O of 1, for the time complexity of this will be O of 1, assuming that try to score is O of 1. What will be the time complexity of this run function?
Here I iterating n times, and in each team I iterate n. So time complexity is big O n squared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Got it. Okay, thank you. Now, question, if this try to score took log of n, what will be the complexity of this? So, right, so try to score is no longer of 1, but it's now log of n.
Yeah.
Okay. So what will be the updated?
N log n. Again?
Okay, and last question that I want to confirm is we talked about the time complexity. What about the space complexity of this?
Yeah.
How much space will it use? And I am talking about the result.
Yeah, I think the space complexity is n. Because the result is the size of the result is the same as the length of the result is the same as the input. Yeah, so I think the space complexity is n.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm looking at the time right now, and we are out of time. We allocated about 45 minutes to this question. And yeah, thank you a lot for this.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chinya, do you have anything or any other comments? No?
Okay. How many points would you give him for both of the coding problems?
All right. Okay. So yeah, now we will go to the results. And yes, so for the results, yeah, so Akuma did a great job actually for both of these problems. I am, very surprised as well. You were able to explain your logic thoroughly. So I am super pleased by that. You were able to also define what the problem was asking you for tic-tac-toe and the second problem about teams. So great job on both of those. So if there was only some feedback I will provide is when you were doing the tic-tac-toe, potentially there's some reusability we could have used. And also it was an interesting way you solved the problem, right? I see that you understood I and J matrix, you understood transformations. And yeah, this is just one of the ways you could solve it. Another potential way will be to use JI itself. Instead of doing like an equal check, you could do a loop with I and J potentially, but this is great. I agree with your solution for this as well. And for the bottom one, the runs team, you did a great job. So you were able to explain both time complexities correctly. So overall, I will give this probably a 9.5, really. You did a great job for this, for both of these problems. I'm very surprised. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Okay, then everybody, all Recursion users watching, thanks for watching. We had an interview with Okuma. Again, we do have some folks at Recursion who do want to check their skills with other companies, foreign companies. And I welcome all of you to give this a try. I explained a little bit, but when it comes to engineering, what's important is that you're able to do the work. You're able to do the coding, you're able to do engineering work. Then in terms of communications, there's different ways of communications, and engineers have patience. If you're able to explain your logic thoroughly, slowly, then everything will be fine and perfect. There's also other forms of communications, like asynchronous communication. And yeah, but thanks a lot, Okuma. And I will catch everybody at home later. Okay, thanks all. All right. プログラミングの学習に興味がありますか? Are you interested in learning how to program? Recursion lets you create all by yourself. In Recursion, after you learn the fundamentals of computer science, you get to retain that knowledge through coding problems and hands-on practice. Recursion not only offers problems but also projects. In these projects, you learn step by step, actually developing all those skill sets you need for web development. After you completed the curriculum, team development also awaits. The reason I don't make tutorial videos is because I don't believe it's the best format to learn programming. The best way for beginners is through hands-on practice and interactive learning. Recursion has all the content for you to become a software engineer. If you're interested, check the description box.